Good evening. Hello. Oh my god, it's you guys. It's the Fortress Faceoffs community. Wow. Hey. How's it going? I am Matt. As you may or may not know me, I have casted for one of these events previously. Yeah, so today, this is day one. We are doing a 7-day, I was about to say 7-week, that would be atrocious. I do not have the time nor patience for that. We are doing a 7-day stream, where we're basically just going behind the scenes and meeting everyone involved with Fortress Faceoffs. So I'll start off, I'm Matt. I do things occasionally. I started off in the media production team. I have helped with the casting, some of the production, and generally I just do things here and there, because I am very busy. But yes, hello, that is me. Today, I am joined by Kevin Supermarket, I am joined by Manus, and I am joined by Agra, who are all three project leads. We do not have Requiem with us today, unfortunately, who would be our fourth, because he is busy. But we'll go sort of in order of our webcams here. We'll go top to right, because I have no sense of direction. So, Manus, hello. Can we hear you?
Hello.
Can we hear you in the stream as well? Let me just... Is that all sounding good if Manus makes Manus noises for a second?
Do I make noises?
Yeah, you just make Manus noises. I'm hoping that sounds okay. I'm sure they'll let us know if they're not.
I'm not sure what Manus noises are, but
Yep.
okay,
MDL says good. MDL says good, then we're good. All right, Manus, would you like to give us a short introduction of who you are and sort of what your role is in Fortress Faceoffs?
Sure. So I'm one of the project leads, as you already mentioned, and I'm also a team lead for organization moderation. So basically, kind of filling the gap of anything that's needed during the events, and yeah, I kind of do everything and nothing at the same time. So this is what is my role within Fortress Faceoffs, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome stuff. We have in the top right over here, so we've switched from people who are real to people who are not, I'm not putting it the right way, people that are real to people that are not real. We have our PNGs over here. So we have Kevin. Would you like to introduce yourself, Kevin?
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Sorry.
That's Markiplier. Okay, well, we have Markiplier apparently as one of our project leads, so it's not aware of this.
Hi, I'm Kevin Supermarket. I created Fortress Faceoffs. It's pretty cool, right? I hope so. You're not allowed to say no.
Yeah, so Kevin is one of the OGs, so to speak, of Fortress Faceoffs. Markiplier is in Fortress Faceoffs. It's true.
Busy guy.
Of course. And lastly but not least, we have Agra. Would you like to give yourself a little intro?
Oh, I am Agrastios, so basically I also founded the organization with Kevin and Tom, which is not here today with us. And I am also a project lead and of course the department head of technical maintenance, which means I create and lead programming stuff, plugin servers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thank you, Akra. So yes, today we're joined by these three wonderful people. The plan and the format for Streamer Week as of so far is just today, because it's sort of our first day, we'll be finding our footing with it. It's sort of kind of going to be a bit of a podcast-themed event. We'll be playing through just TF2, all four of us. As the days go on, we'll probably start to introduce some community server actions, so I think one day we might have one of our server hosters on the podcast as well. But we'll have the community server open so you guys can join it, and everyone can play together as one big happy Fortress Faceoffs family. I cannot speak today. But yeah, so let me just see if I can switch this. We also have this wonderful setup created for us by Requiem. So thank you to him, because it's all done on very short time. Oh, look at that. We have 4 webcams. And we have...
New follower.
We should have a new follower. Thank you. Welcome to Fortress Faceoffs. We know what we're doing. There we go. So I have no idea what our audio setup is. Hopefully it is playing our music and it is playing everything. That's good. That is good. So I think what we'll do is potentially just go through casual first, if you guys are alright with that, or we could go to a community server.
I guess we can test out the bot update, how it turned out.
Sure. Okay. And what I'll do then, when we've actually got into a thing, is I'll kick us all off with a question. So obviously, all of you are the project leads for Fortress Faceoffs, which means that sort of you're the... Either you've been around the longest, or you've quite literally founded the organization. So I'll go left to right again. So we start with Kevin actually this time. I feel like this question doesn't apply in the same way, but I'll kind of reword it for you. So how did Fortress Faceoffs come to be, essentially? What was it that inspired what we have today? And sort of like, how did it start out?
Ah, so you're looking for my legacy, are you?
I am looking for your legacy.
Well, I'll be glad to tell you. It all started in 2020, right when COVID came around. Boy, wasn't that a time, huh? But it was I'd say about the time of Thanksgiving here in America, around October, November, when all of a sudden there was this announcement that came up on the Team Fortress 2 blog talking about this event for something called Holiday Puncherinos, which was very loosely worded as a tournament where everybody would play heavy and only use the holiday punch, and it was basically heavy boxing. On that blog post contained a Discord link, which led to a very unprepared server filled with 3 people who did not expect their idea to work. And it did. And it only took like a week or so for that server to essentially blow up to 1,000 people, and they had to quickly mass hire a bunch of random staff members from just people who were in the server. I so happened to be one of them, and so was Agra, as well as Tom. So for a while, we tried to manage this hell of an organization that these 3 random guys tried to dream up one day. And eventually it all came falling down because they had no idea how to actually manage what they'd set themselves up for. So in a desperate attempt to try and put a solution, I decided, well, I feel bad, and I kind of want everybody to be given the promise that they were told. So I created a new Discord server, which was originally just for my team that was going to participate in that event. I used that server, and I forwarded as many people as I could into it. I believe in total we got about 400 to 500. From there, I recruited some of the old staff from the other event server to my new server, so that's where Agra, Tom, and such come in. And from there, we just kept recruiting people who actually had the skills required to keep us going. After that, Fortress Faceoffs essentially took off. I decided to label it as casually competitive, basically making competitively themed tournaments that were just based around like doing silly stuff. You don't actually have to take it seriously. It's all just in good fun. So yeah, that's how Fortress Faceoffs started.
Right, brilliant. Thank you very much. That was actually, that was quite a legacy, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, no, quite a story. Okay, we'll go down. So, Manus, I'll reword this question slightly for you. So, how were you introduced into Fortress Faceoffs, and sort of how did you come about, like, into your role now?
Okay, so basically I'm the newest to project leads. I've heard about Fortress Faceoffs around a year ago during the dueling doubles. So 2v2 format, that was probably our worst event. And it was the time when there were a lot of problems in organization, and they kind of needed help with like sign-ups and all the stuff. So I wrote, I believe, to Agra and asked if they need help, and just offered that I can come for this event and try to do my best, and I did.
Yeah. There was a huge shortage of staff. He came in clutch.
Yeah. So I basically came around a year ago, and I was mostly working in moderation, managing kind of all the like preparations for the events, like sign-ups, like giving connects to the teams, all that stuff. And around half a year ago, I believe, like before Dunk of the Deck, Requiem asked me if I want to be a project lead, and was like, okay, why not? So then I had talk with like Agra and Kevin also, and they were like that they can give me a try, and seems I might have passed because I was not kicked yet from this position. So that's basically my story behind being where I am right now.
Yeah. Wonderful, thank you. And I guess we'll follow suit and we'll go straight to Agora. So, how did you first get involved with Fortress Faceoffs, and sort of what led you to where you are right now?
Okay, so yeah, just like Kevin, we wanted to play in Holiday Punctorinos. It seemed very exciting. It was the first event that was announced in Steam too, like in the Steam news.
Right, yeah.
Like there was that new, very cool Steam TF2 blog post thingy that now every game has. And I believe I even got a pop-up, a notification on Steam that Holiday Punch Tournament is going to begin. It's like, whoa, Valve even posted it on Steam, and 5,000 people came into the server.
No.
But yeah, a bunch of problems happened because the organizers were, I believe, around 13, 14-year-old. They weren't very capable of keeping a level head, nor they were very capable of organizing huge events like this because they did not expect Eric to post it on Steam too. So it was crazy. It was 5,000 people, like in the hour of posting the announcement. So they basically suffered from success.
That makes sense.
The server was nuked like 5 times. There was a lot of drama, a bunch of mods and admins, and even co-owner tried to sabotage the server. It was a huge mess. Tom, and Kevin were added into the staff team at different points. We got all banned. Then I came back into the staff team. I got Kevin and Tom unbanned, and then we tried to fix the server. Kevin proposed to make an alternate one. I said, let's keep trying. It didn't work out well. And yeah, we went back to Kevin's idea. Kevin threw us into that server. It was just Kevin's team server. We cleaned it up a lot. I became basically the Discord cleanup role permission channel person. So like the basis from Kevin, but I made a lot of changes to the structure of the server, and all the roles like fresh meat and all that stuff is added by me.
Oh, right.
And Tom was like, he like verified all the signups for the event. So basically, we managed to make the event work, even if it was in a smaller size than it could have been. There were no prizes. We had a month to ready up everything.
Yeah.
And from then we decided, hey, we should try to make a new event. And maybe I thought I could get Valve to post a blog post. And yeah, we got our second event, Fat Scout Shootout. We posted on TF2 website because I have already been in contact with Eric a lot of times, like for bug reports and other things. And so the journey began, and we still exist and keep growing and make even more fun events to play.
Yeah.
All thanks to a failed event.
That's quite the legacy for Fortress Faceoffs. Also, I hate to inform you, but I have been auto-balanced to the enemy team.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
You feel the wrath of my mini sentry.
I'm definitely feeling the wrath of your mini sentry. I, in fact, dislike your mini sentry quite profusely. Well,
then why don't you do something about it?
Listen, maybe it should just not be there. Yeah. There's no game audio. Is that intentional? I don't know if that's intentional, because we actually have another gameplay scene, which you may be able to hear the audio in there. No, you cannot. No, there's no audio, seemingly intentionally. We'll leave it as is for now, but if you think it would be better with audio, I can definitely adjust that for tomorrow, because I don't feel like messing around with all the audio right now. But I think that maybe that is something I could fix for tomorrow. But yeah, no, okay. So that's a little about Fortress Faceoffs. I kind of wanted to ask you guys, and we'll go chronological, and I'll actually give some input onto this answer before I ask you. I wanted to ask why and when you started playing TF2. What led to us all being sat in this call right now, streaming to an events Twitch account? I mean, so for me personally, I started playing Team Fortress 2 in I think it was late 2015. It was just after the Invasion update had come out, and I remember I used to watch a lot of Muselk. It was the big three, Germastar and Muselk. I was very much a Muselk enjoyer. I saw a bunch of videos. I was like, hey, that's a game that looks cool. I downloaded it onto my crappy laptop that could not run PowerPoint effectively. So running Team Fortress 2 on it was a whole other sort of eggshell. But it I sort of started playing it around then. Quit for a bit. I actually quit around Jungle Inferno. Came back to the game in like 2020. Because one of my housemates, where I used to live, was like, hey, I play this game called Team Fortress 2, have you ever heard of it? And I was like, oh yeah, I used to play that forever ago. And I kind of got back into it. I met a few people. I started editing, actually, through TF2. I started editing for people, which is how I met Mikey, who's now one of my really good IRL friends. I met Rob, who is going to be on this stream tomorrow. He's actually, through playing TF2, I live with him now. If I didn't play TF2, I would not live in this house right now, so it's crazy how much this game has impacted my life. But yeah, so it's kind of from there till now, that's been my experience. I joined Fortress Faceoffs, I want to say about 10 months ago, something like that. So probably, I'm pretty much the little baby out of the group here. But yeah, that's my experience with TF2. So I'll go straight back to Kevin. We'll go in the same order, I think. Kevin, tell me a little bit about TF2. Why did you start playing it, and sort of how does that add onto your legacy with Fortress Faceoffs?
So, just to start, that's a bit of a hard question to go into because my history started so long ago that I've essentially forgotten how it all began. But
Okay.
To put it simply, Team Fortress 2 was one of the first games that I had installed on my Steam account. And I know one key memory that I had very early on was watching a winglet animation that was, I think it was called like Zero to Hero or something. It's like the story about how a soldier had a rocket
Yeah,
jump.
I know the one.
And yeah, I remember that as being like one of the earliest things that I'd seen. And that's like how I found out about Jump Academy. And I was like, wow, this game's so cool. You can do stuff. It's crazy. But the setup that I had was actually pretty similar to how you described it. I had a very crappy Intel Pentium laptop that could not run the game at any better than 30 frames. So, yeah, you can imagine how good that was. Maybe for, 2014, that would have been acceptable, but for now, no. Essentially, as I fell into a bunch of different communities. One in recent mind is Zero Ground servers. It was one of the first community groups that I had joined, which actually did kind of inspire the style of thing that I operate here. They were just it was a trade plaza sort of community where they had customized maps that were created by a few people in the community, and they always did weekly event parties with all the people who knew about the group. It was a really fun time back then, but eventually the server was shut down since there just wasn't enough maintenance with it. People kind of got tired of it. But yeah, no, later down the line, I also started to fall in love with unusual effects, and I don't mean that in the trading sense. I mean that in the way of actually making them. The process of workshopping and creating unique things for the game was always very interesting to me. So eventually I went on to start creating my own unusual effects, as well as developing a few guides to explain the process to people who are getting into it. So all around, in recent times, I feel like I've been doing a lot of community support just because I feel like it's what's needed right now. But that's more or less the story.
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting one, to be fair. I think making unusual effects has always been something I wanted to do in TF2. I think not even just that, having something that is mine in the game, something that I can say, hey, I did something with that. That's definitely something I've been interested in, so that's very cool.
It's a lot of fun, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll go to Manus. How about you?
So I started playing TF2 in 2010, I believe. Or 2012, probably 11 years ago. And basically started by my friend from school playing TF2, and it was the time when Orange Box was like you could start playing TF2 for free, and not from Orange Box like in before. So he got me to play it, and I fairly enjoyed it and just stayed. Then I've been like playing casual for tons of hours and just like experimenting around with community servers, etc. And then I came across competitive, but not like the competitive built in TF2, which sucks, but the competitive that is in outside leagues like ETF12, UGC, etc.
Yeah.
And I started playing TF2 competitively, and I fell in love. Like, first of all, it was totally different level. Like when you play in casual, you think you're like got among others because you're just crushing them. But then when you play in competitive, you finally become the weakest and you have to like improve again. So it was like a huge motivation to actually play more and get more experience. And so I've been playing competitive since then for like next 9 years or something. And got to Div 2, I believe. So like there's like Prem Division, Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, Div 4, Div 5, Div 6. So like the third one from the top. So I'm like average competitive player. And yeah, I've mostly played that later on. Like I was not really playing casual anymore. I also like from TF2. Like worth mentioning is probably that at some point I just started basically doing everything in this competitive mode. Like even all my friends in TF2 were from competitive, and later on I've met with them. So I have like my group of friends from one of my teams that we meet in real life. Like my best friend is basically from TF2, and he came to me from France. And this year on New Year's we met in Belgium with a group of 10 people. So
All right, yeah.
it's really cool to actually make bonds in a game and meet with everyone and become real friends. So yeah, that's the story for me. And then I just when I was playing with those friends, I found out about Fortress Faceoffs, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. It was fun, and I stayed.
Oh, fair enough. And Agra finally leads on to you.
Okay. So the story is also very long, like just like Kevin's. It was so long enough that I'm not sure how did it start, but I remember reading in like a teenagers children magazine, which had a video game section praising Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
And around 2012, I downloaded Steam. I had tried some games because I usually didn't play Steam games, and I didn't even play first-person shooters. Yeah, I remember the Team Fortress 2 existed. It's like, oh, the most fun you can have online. Whoa, that sounds pretty cool. And I got the game. And I don't believe I played it that much, but I really fell with love into it. I really fell in love with it at around 2015, 2014. So it was it was like the first FPS I actually been playing, because I really did not play any FPS games aside from TF2 at that time. I usually preferred other games like Minecraft, Brick Bashers, all kinds of games, but not first-person shooters. So TF2 got my interest. The only FPS game I had played before TF2, I believe, I played some Counter-Strike Source on some wacky maps. I played Raymond Raven Rabbits for some first-person shooter minigames. I guess that counts. And around that time, I also started playing Garry's Mod, but I don't really count it as a first-person shooter.
No, I wouldn't, to be fair.
Yeah, so TF2 was like pretty much the first one I started playing regularly. I really fell in love with the game. I watched the Meet the Team shots. They were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Meet the Pyro one had just shipped. I've enjoyed the updates like the Two Cities update, Love and War. Expansion 8 was very cool. I really liked Asteroid and Cactus Canyon when it came out.
Mm.
Rest in peace to these maps. They are still not finished to this day. 9 years in development.
Maybe one day we can dream, we can hope.
Yes. So I've looked around into a bunch of different places in in the TF2 community. So like I liked watching Star, Muselk, a bunch of other YouTubers that no longer play this game anymore.
Mm.
Funk was cool.
Oh, Funk, yeah.
RT game later on.
Yeah.
So I believe I joined a community which had like TF2 as one of its focuses like around 2014. Yeah, so I started looking in Facepunch forums, if you have heard of these before.
Mm-hmm.
So they are a very known community because they basically had everything for Gmod modding, for TF2 modding. In there, the TF2 Emporium scene was born. Basically, people made and discussed TF2 items in the Facepunch forums. It was the place if you wanted to start being a workshop and make content for the game. The Emporium, which was in Facepunch, it was the best place for you to go. So and also that was the famous major update speculation where people TF2 updates used to have lots of ARGs and secrets to find, lots of leaks, and Facepunchers were really good at finding them. So I started looking in like 2015, around when Gunmetal shipped. That update was very cool, but it made my potato laptop when I played. I used to mostly play on a potato back then, and Gunmetal really killed the performance of my game. So I did tend to take a break sometimes from TF2 because the performance really hurt. But I still enjoyed the game, and I even started looking into the Facepunch forums more and more in 2016. Even made an account in 2017. So like the game during its updates kept getting worse and worse graphics, graphic downgrades. I mean, like the weapons got many weapons got worse lighting than before. Some maps got its lighting change. First, there were a bunch of random graphical features that got downgraded just because Valve forgot, it seems. It doesn't even seem to be performance based because some are just parameters that don't cost any FPS, and they were just downgraded. So I have with someone from Facepunch, I've started making the ultimate TF2 visual fix pack.
Oh yeah.
Which contains a lot of fixes and updates and changes. So if you want, you can check that out. It's also like updates some particles and muzzle flashes and all the new weapons added to the game, all the VS, fixes to some cosmetics. Like it tries to bring back that consistent style that 2012 TF2 used to have.
Yeah.
To all the models, and some textures have been updated. Things like that. So that was like maybe the first big project I have done.
Very nice.
For TF2 after all these years of playing it. Of course, I never really got into the competitive scene, but I used to play TF2 lobbies and Highlander centers, and I've joined a few cups. So I've been in all sorts of corners in the TF2 community, and I believe Fortress Faceoffs really helps me to try and like combine all the connections I have to use them for our events and like to make a TF2 community a little more unified community, because it's a very fractured community. It has lots of small sub communities like MVM players, traders, streamers, like the workshop content makers and all sorts of creative people in the TF2 community exist. So I'm just happy to still be a part of this game 10 years in, which is pretty cool. So like I and Kevin, we are veterans of this game, you could say.
Yeah, definitely. I think during all of that, for some reason, my internet started to freak out a little bit. I don't know what was going on with that. I really hope the stream wasn't affected too badly, but yeah, should have been fine, hopefully. We hope. I can give you a little funny story, actually. This is not related to TF2. In fact, this is not really related to anything. This is just a funny story. So about 3 days ago, so as many of you will probably be aware, CS:GO 2, Counter-Strike 2 is coming out, and I've seen a lot of happiness, a lot of people very excited for that. I have never ever played Counter-Strike before. I've installed it once, and I've gone on like a bot lobby before. That's pretty much been it. I have never ever played CS:GO before, so I decided to download it and play it with one of my friends. He's in chat. I installed it. We played for about 30 minutes. I was really bad at it, like I would expect to be. I alt-tabbed from the game, or the equivalent of alt-tabbing. I tabbed out of CS:GO, and my PC froze. And I was like, okay, source game, this kind of stuff happens. But then it didn't unfreeze, and I was like, huh, you know, that's a bit annoying. Oh wow, I don't actually have my mod icons on. There we go. Ah, thank you, main.load for that one. And yeah, no, so it was frozen, and it was not responding. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna shut it down. There's nothing else I can do here. I'm just gonna shut my computer off, turn it back on again. Problem solved. So I switched it off. I switched it back on again. Blue screen. I'm like, that's interesting. That doesn't usually happen when I switch on my computer. Usually it turns on and doesn't give me a blue screen. So I was like, okay, this is fine. This is probably just like it freaked out over something. I'll reset it again. So I did. I did a restart this time. I pressed like the little reset button on my PC. Blue screen again. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna let it like cycle. I'm gonna let it like blue screen again, and then it should bring up like the recovery page. And I should be able to like do something. And hopefully get it fixed. This is 30 minutes later. I have not seen anything but the blue screen of death. I'm like, oh dear, what is happening here? There's quite literally nothing I could have done. To make a long story short, I reinstalled Windows onto my secondary drive, which I have in my PC, luckily. And my primary drive, the one that I was using, is completely bricked. It's dead. I've tried formatting it. I cannot format it. It's set to read only. It's destroyed. And all of that because I alt-tabbed from CS:GO. And that happened 3 days ago. So right now I'm running, I still haven't reinstalled everything. My OBS settings are probably whack because I only just reinstalled it to do this. Everything's a little bit messed up. I've only just gotten all of my mods reinstalled on TF2. It's been kind of a little bit of a wacky few days from my PC.
The lesson is to not play the CS:GO, I guess.
So I'm not safe to say I'm not going to be playing CS2 when it comes out. I'm now terrified of the game. It makes me think that I'm going to like die or something. So I will not be playing CS:GO 2 when it comes out. My apologies.
Mad death moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that happens to me and only me, you know.
We love you, Matt, though. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. So moving on slightly. Another question I thought this will be an interesting one to ask some of you folks, because I definitely have an answer for this one. Has there been anything whilst participating in whatever capacity in Fortress Faceoffs that you have done or that has happened that strikes you as particularly memorable or funny, or just anything that you like particularly remember from any of your time working with or participating in the events?
Well, I remember when there were a Fat Scout shootout the heavy shooting each other with shotguns event, which was our second event.
Mhm.
So the bronze. So the event went pretty good. We had prizes and it was funny and it was fun.
Mhm.
And the bronze match was crazy. And right after it ended, Essentials TF graded our stream because they had something else going on too.
Yeah.
And we had like 400 viewers after the raid, and it was pretty awesome. And most of them watched the grand finals, which was pretty cool.
Mhm.
So I don't think we have ever reached that many viewers.
Yeah.
So thank you, Essentials TF. If any of your members are watching.
That's funny. Essentials TF have actually raided me before, but like just me. I am not someone who streams competitive TF2 or anything like that. I can't even remember what I was doing. I think I was literally just playing TF2 at my very unprofessional, stupid capacity. And suddenly having like 150 comp viewers was quite a funny experience to me. But yeah, no, shout out Essentials TF. Yeah, so Kevin or Manus, is there anything that you would like to add? Any experience or anything particularly that strikes you as memorable?
If you don't mind, Kevin, I can start. So for me, entire Greg is love experience. Basically,
Greg.
the beginnings that were like the real beginnings are in dueling doubles, but that's where nothing in particular happened. But on our Huntsman Cup, we kind of popped off with like entire story of the Greg. With like we prepared the binds, we prepared the towns. So basically, we synced up all our team to like do the what was the town?
It was the Shred Alert, I think, because you were doing, and I remember Greg Day was the meme that was going for some reason.
Yeah, we had Greg concert, and we basically like seeing the reactions in chat from Twitch.
Yeah,
it kind of motivated us to do even more crazier thing with each round, and then we got to semifinals that were really stressful because we played against Post team, like those, or Vlad's team. No, it was Post team, and they seemed to me like the best team in entire tournament. As Post was just killing everyone. He was dominating this entire event, and in our first round we lost like 3-0 or something. They just dominated us completely. We didn't have even a chance to stood against them, and then in next map we kind of managed to like we lost the first round, and then second round we won, and in our VC we were just all shouting from happiness that we even managed to score one round, and then we managed to do a comeback and get another round. It was insane, and we couldn't believe it, but we then after very close game we managed to win the last round, and it was we kind of burned out from all emotions possible because it was just too much to take. It was a very memorable moment for me for the Faceoffs. It kind of it was the event that actually really dragged me in, and after it I really wanted to be more of than just a person participating.
Yeah, that's cool. And finally, Kevin, not Agra. Kevin, is there anything that particularly strikes you as memorable? I have a good one for this as well.
Okay, no medal, bye Noob League.
Fair enough. I have a good one. So, the first thing I ever did with Fortress... I've never actually participated in Fortress Faceoffs.
How dare you?
Any of the tournaments. But the first thing I did was the casting... No, the producing. Now, I had said that I would be okay to produce for Fortress Faceoffs well in advance. And I cannot remember why exactly. But for some reason, I had to go home to visit my parents. And it happened to, of course, as is the way, fall onto the week of Fortress Faceoffs. And I thought to myself, I could let this stop me. You know, I could just say I'm going to be at my parents'. Or I could drag my old PC from upstairs, set it up in our kitchen, my parents' kitchen, prevent them access to the kitchen for the next, like, 6 hours. And that was the thing, because that stream ended up going on for about 8 hours. It was EU day 1. Ended up going on for, like, 7 to 8 hours or something like that. I remember my mum kept coming in and, like, being, can I use my kitchen yet, please? And I was like, Mom, I'm streaming Fortress Faceoffs. And she, you know, it was that kind of a thing. And my actual favorite memory from that aside, that being incredibly scuffed and weird being in my parents' kitchen. I have a picture of it somewhere. I don't know where it is, unfortunately. But my actual favorite memory was the fact that I spilt juice all over my keyboard, panicked, like flipped it upside down, tried to shake all the juice out of it, by which point I was just not watching the stream in the slightest. So I had like opened my console and was like typing in the console. It looked like I was having a stroke on the stream, and everyone was going like, what's going on? What is this? And then all I could say was juice. There was nothing else. I just said juice. I can't remember who it was casting. I think it was Gamerlad and someone else. But I just kept saying juice to them and hoping they would maybe catch on to what I was on about. They did not. No one knew what I was on about. So I typed it in. But I think that was probably one of my favorite memories. Horrendous at the time, but quite funny in retrospect. Cool. Yeah, no. I'm currently
going deep. He's dead.
What did you say, sorry?
Aggro was going deep, and then he died.
Yes, I was going deep.
I've been having this little, like, cliff 1v1 with a pyro since we got into Sweden. He keeps air blasting me off, but I've killed him once, and I'm holding on to that. That's, like...
I think that was the first cam that I saw when I died. I just saw you fighting that pyro.
Yeah, we keep having this little, like, one-to-one, a little heart-to-heart, you know? There he is! I see him, and there's another sniper. That's quite unfortunate. Goodness gracious. But yeah. So leading on to another question, actually. So we are currently, what are we in? We are in March of 2023. Obviously, we have an event planned. What do you think, and this is sort of like a group question, but what do you think you'd like to see happen for Fortress Faceoffs by the end of this year and sort of like into 2024? Do you think there's any kind of like plans or anything that you want to see like happen in that time? Any plans for expansion, perhaps?
I want a bunch of funny events to happen.
What? Aggro?
I top scored somehow. Oh.
Hang on. Aggro, say what you said again, sorry, I could not hear you, because...
Oh yeah. I want a bunch of funny events to happen that will be fun.
Oh, okay, see, I thought you said a bunch of furry events, and I was really confused. I was like, what? What does that mean? Nah. Hang on, I need to turn a light on in this room so that you can actually see, because it's made my webcam incredibly
So
dark.
you can hear
So
your
you can
ears
hear me,
need
yeah.
light.
I know that Agra really wants it secretly, so.
So you can see I've actually dressed up for the event. I've got I've got the tie on, I've got the shirt. I'm fully dressed up for Fortress Faceoffs interviews.
Yes, very swag.
Very swag, you know. You can't see Agra, but behind his webcam, he's got the 3-piece suit on.
Yep. But no pants. I don't need pants.
No pants, no. I mean, technically, I don't need pants either. I could take them off right now. But then again, I did just stand up to turn on my lights, so that probably would have been quite tragic. Streamer Week would have had quite the reverse effect from trying to get affiliated. Would have, in fact, been banned.
No, I honestly think we'd get affiliated instantly.
What if I just, like, stripped down? I don't think that's something
Yes,
that should
because
happen.
Matt is very hot.
Why is this?
Right, guys,
oh, no, we're not.
We get 100 subs on the channel. New sub goal.
Yeah, well. I actually... Oh, Sonic Heroes music. So I, funnily enough, don't actually hear the music. It's muted on my end, but I hope it's... Requiem is in charge of all of our music and what he puts in, so... I trust that he puts all the bangers in.
He just dropped a bunch of our old music from all the events, and dropped in a little more bangers.
Mm-hmm. Can we get like a minute of Requiem appreciation? He's so
Minute
Requiem.
of
Yeah.
He,
Take off your hat.
tip the headphones for Requiem, because he couldn't make it today. He is unfortunately at work. I mean, like, you know, imagine having a job or being productive in any way that isn't being on the
What?
stream
Yeah.
for Fortress Faceoffs. Like, what could be more important than that? But yeah, shout out to Requiem. I mean, he made all of the stuff. I haven't even shown half the screens on this. We have, okay, well that's actually a nothing screen. So we've used these two. But we have the ending and BRB screens. I think were specifically made for this. But
Huge thanks to Requiem for making us overlays and Herver for the concepts.
Yes, that's right. Hoek did the concept art, didn't he?
Yes, great concepts for the overlays, so they look very good.
Shout out to Hoek, who is unfortunately ill with COVID right now, so I don't think he's going to be able to make it onto his segment on Wednesday or Thursday,
Sadly.
whichever day it was.
It was a day, for sure.
One of the days.
Of all time.
Requiem, listen, I think you should quit your job, clearly. Become a full-time Fortress Faceoffs man.
Yes,
That's
Vodka.
pretty benefitable. All the donations we get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if there's one place to make the big bucks, it's a non-profit organization.
Yeah, exactly. You got to pour all your time and effort into something that won't ever make any kind of profit or money.
Exactly.
What else are you doing it for?
Exactly.
Fast life. So,
Yes?
yeah, so I hope we make a bunch more connections, we grow as an organization.
Yeah.
Even further, we improve on fields that we are not so good yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting athlete.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, I failed so horrendously.
that's one of the things. And we are doing it.
We are
right
doing
now,
it. This is all
Yay.
for the greater good. The Streamer Week is for the greater good. Okay,
So,
so I've got a question, and this is my curiosity getting the better of me, honestly, because I am, to the contrary of what some people may believe, quite uncreative. My online handle and name has always been Matt. Actually, that's a lie. It has been other things before, but
it's probably Matt.
it's probably Matt. In the time in which I have been prevalent on within the TF2 community, it has always just been Matt. So everyone refers to me by my real name, which obviously I'm not about to ask for your real names, by the way. That's not where this is going. I've always been known by my real name. But what kind of was an inspiration for your username? Because I am uncreative and I'm boring, and I really want to know how you come up with anything other than your name that already exists. So I'll start with Kevin Supermarket.
Wasn't that question, Taylor?
I actually wonder about this too.
Alright, so the story begins when I was in my MGE era.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
quite the
okay.
time. So this is a time period where I kind of struggled to figure out what it was that I enjoyed in Team Fortress anymore, because I kind of felt like I had been there and done that with everything. So MGE was sort of the way that I just kept in touch with the base game without having to go into casual, because obviously a bunch of cheaters and hackers there. Not a lot to get from it. I don't remember what name it was I had at the time. It might have still been Avenue, which I had got by looking outside of my window one day and being like, huh, yeah, I'll do that.
Right.
But I was just messing around on an MGE server, and that was the very moment where I had looked down at chat and saw a user join by the name of Craig Dishwasher.
Right.
And I thought, my God, that is the funniest thing I have ever seen. And from then on, I have been Kevin Supermarket for the last 3 years.
Best
Incredible.
name.
Yeah,
That's a
honestly.
beautiful story.
So that's the gaming name, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you use it in real life too?
Oh,
Yes.
Do you have people come up to you and go, "Hello, Kevin Supermarket" in real life as well? I assume.
Well, okay, funny story.
Okay, right, yeah.
So a few years ago, I was part of the esports club at my school, and part of that, we actually were able to get like jerseys made for our school team. So of course, I decided that I would put Kevin Supermarket as the name on the jersey. So I officially have a piece of clothing with that name.
Incredible.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, so as you guys are probably aware, TF Connect happened. So I actually bought one of the donator shirts. So basically, if everyone who donated through that event got their name printed on the back. And I completely forgot. I knew I had donated at some point to it, but I couldn't remember like if it was enough to be on the shirt or anything. And I got the shirt like recently, and I checked it, and they had printed on it a name that I had put in as a joke, because there was an ongoing joke between me and someone else there. I can't remember what the joke was, but on the back of the shirt, it says Matt, parentheses, the really, really cool one, I swear, parentheses close. And it's like, why would you print that? I mean, obviously they just took all the names from the thing, but I think it's really hilarious because my name goes over 2 lines. And it's probably like the longest one on there.
Those remind me of another thing that I forgot to mention. So when the TF2 voice actors did their first like Streamily meetup, and they had all the posters they were signing, remember that?
Yeah. I've actually got one right next to me. I've got mine right
Yes, I have one. It's currently up on my wall, but there's a funny story about that poster. I got the one by John Patrick Lowy, the voice actor for Sniper, and of course, the name I put down was not my name, but Kevin Supermarket.
Right.
Which he then signed on the poster and commented, "Hey, that's a funny name." And ever since, I just
you have been acknowledged by John Patrick
Our
Lowy.
official Sniper endorsement.
The
official
sniper
sniper
is called Kevin Supermarket.
Supermarket.
So I'll go to Manus.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen you smiling the whole time when I've been bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah. So story of my name began. Wait, it will be 19 years ago.
Oh, wow,
No,
okay.
wait. 15,
90 years ago.
90.
15 years ago.
That's
That's
a
the
secret.
first.
Bit of a difference there.
Back then I was playing Neverwinter Nights, and I stepped off from the single player and tried multiplayer. And on the server I was playing, everyone had the beginning of the name for like their entire account, and then something else. So for example, I don't know, Agra the Brave, something like this. Yeah, and then a character with Agra something else. And I was kind of jealous back then that they have something like this and I don't have a name. So I went to Neverwinter Nights name generator, and after like couple of tries, then I've noticed Manus, and it was like, I love it. I want it. So I started naming myself as Manus, and a couple years later, like 2 or 3 years later, I found out that it actually means hand in Latin.
Oh.
So, yeah, so from that time I was like, okay, this name is even cooler than before. And I created my first profile picture with like a hand on it. And later on I was like doing some more of a branding for myself, and I'm using this name in my work also, like as in my profession. So yeah, and actually, fun fact, my profile picture that I have was made by my brother on one of my birthdays.
Oh, right.
My brother is also a graphic designer. He worked on trailers for Gwent for E3 and other.
Oh, right,
things.
wow.
Yeah, so he did this for me, and I'm keeping it since then. That's the story.
Yeah. And last but not least, because I'm very interested in this one, Agrastios. I still, even despite knowing you for probably about a year, don't actually know how to say it. So I just say Agra.
Me neither.
You don't know how to say it. Well, that makes me feel good, actually. That's fine.
Probably Agrastios sounds best.
Agrastios. Where does that come from?
So, okay, so I was using the internet since I was like 4 years old. So I had a bunch of usernames for use. So I know one was like Run AB. I have no idea why did I think of that one. Another one was very cringy. It was the Iron and my real name. It's really cringy.
Yep.
Basically the Iron Man, you know?
Yeah.
My very young brain thought that would be cool for that moment. Finally, the name was anglicized, by the way, of course.
Yep.
And finally, I thought, I don't have a good username. And I was still like very young, like 7 years old, I think, 8. Well, I know that I had that name at least since I was 11. So somewhere in that period, I thought, how about I think of Agrastios, and the only relation to the Lithuanian language is that the first 2 syllables of a name are the root of the word for Lithuanian for gooseberry. You know the gooseberries.
All right.
So I guess I have no idea why did I think up of it. I'm just creative, I guess.
Yeah, no, more creative than me. Beats Matt.
Even a capital letter in the middle of a name.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
very quirky. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very unique name. I'm glad I picked it because I don't think I have ever experienced the issue of like making an account for something and having to pick another name. Because I don't think there ever will be another Agracios, so
I
I'm
doubt
very
it
happy.
somehow.
So I'm happy to have a very unique name. Yeah.
I'd like to point
Yeah,
out.
I get the honor of calling myself the one and only Kevin Supermarket.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that we've just randomly queued into a game with Lily, who is actually going to be on the stream tomorrow. Funnily enough.
Or maybe, or maybe
Maybe they joined us.
he just stream sniped us.
Maybe. But yeah,
I
we
also
are
like to add on that we can add Steve into the group.
Steve. Steve. I mean,
Steve.
see, I've actually. Oh, Lily left. Wow. I was just saying, like, oh, Lily joined our game. Oh, Lily's gone. All right. Yeah, no. I mean, I've added stuff to my name. Probably Matt. It used to be definitely. But Steve just out there with Steve. Like, that's a power move, really. Steve's just Steve.
Yeah, he's currently on the game, so if you want to bring him in.
Matt is just Matt too.
Is he? Wait, what?
Just the OG, basically.
Well, Matt, you're also just Matt, so you're also pretty.
I am just Matt.
Quite a chat.
My old username used to be It's Just Matt, I think.
Yeah, also probably and definitely Matt.
And before that, on Xbox, it was Matt Why Not, I believe.
Very creative names.
They all include a common theme, if you couldn't tell.
I'm not sure actually.
They all
Is
use
it that
adjectives.
they all have it?
Yeah, they all have adjectives at the beginning. Yeah. Yes, names are funny things. But I'm trying to think what my question was that I had that I thought, that'd be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Okay. It's a boring question, but I've thought of it because we're on this map. What's your favorite TF2 map? And the reason I say that is because I love Pier. I don't know why. This map is not particularly outstanding, but I really enjoy it. I think it's quite fun, especially on Sniper, which I play a lot of nowadays. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? What would be your favorite map in TF2?
So I like a bunch of maps for when I just want to chill, I play too hard. When I want to like be sweaty, I like Process.
Yeah.
But aside from like these situations and other maps that I like, my favorite one that is in the game probably would be Nucleus, because I love the vibe of this map and I like the unique circular design.
Yeah.
But how you can just walk around and fight the enemy. It was like one of the first maps probably that I played. But I believe my first map was Viaduct, and I loved playing with Engineer at first. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Two things to point out. Apparently, we've run into a player stack that Lecter knows, and also there is Requiem lore in my DMs, so I'll check that out momentarily. No, that would be right now, in fact. I think he wants to say something. Oh, it's a lore on the name Requiem. Apparently, I'm reading in. I'm being Requiem right now, so hold on.
But he's not getting interviewed.
Yeah, but he's adding something to it. He's here in spirit. He should have been here as the 4th project lead, but he's not, because he has a job like, regular person.
Ew.
Ew, I know. That's so cringe. But
Ew.
he's saying when I was like 8, I had an old Nintendo DSi, and I was trying to set my name to Requiem with an E, like the correct spelling for Requiem, because I had recently watched the movie Requiem for a Dream. I fucked the spelling of Requiem and got Requiem without the E, and it's just stuck. So there you go.
Wow, that's a messed up movie to watch. At that young.
I do not, Kevin. I will get him added. I have no idea who the hell you guys are, but it's nice to have a stream as a podcast. Who wants to introduce what Fortress Faceoffs is to someone that doesn't know what Fortress Faceoffs is?
I'll go.
Go for it.
So basically, Fortress Faceoffs was my first attempt at a marketing scheme. I needed to evade my taxes.
There you go. That's it.
It's pyramid scheme, yeah.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Fortress Faceoffs is a tournament that happens sometimes, and
Great explanation.
yeah, it's a great explanation.
Yeah, beautiful.
Fortress Faceoffs.
I'll
is
do
a-
an actual explanation though if you want me.
That's what I was doing, but yeah, it's a.
No.
Oh, you know what? It's your baby. You go for it. Go for it. No.
Yeah. So, Fortress Faceoffs. It's an event organization that has existed for about 3 years now. Well, almost 3 years. It existed since about November in 2020. We essentially do events once per season, so 4 events a year. They're all about Team Fortress 2, obviously, but they're primarily sort of like goofy event ideas that we try and host that are sort of competitive, but like not enough to where it really matters what you're doing.
Yeah, they're
Have-
competitive
yeah.
for casual players.
They have fun twists, and they usually like make you do strats that are not really played in the normal game.
Yep.
Have we announced the next event yet?
No.
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 But it'll be soon.
Yeah,
TM.
soon. So there is a new event being announced pretty soon as well. But currently, what we're doing is we're doing a week-long podcast-esque stream. That'll be going. We're on day 1 right now. They're going to be 2 hours each day. So we're 1 hour into our 7-day endeavor currently. So this will be a daily thing for the next week, and then it'll go back to being just the sort of quarterly events. And I have been killed by a crit pyro. That's very cool. But yeah, sorry.
I'm about to be killed by.
I can't.
So maybe, yeah.
No, go for it.
I was thinking that we have a bunch of questions in the Twitter, in the Discord, and
Oh,
in
do
the
we?
Twitch chat. Yeah, we did
I can
have.
go to those. Yeah. Do we? Where are they posted in the Discord?
Well, on Discord they are posted in thoughts and questions. In Twitter they'll be posted
no,
in the.
replies.
You will notice the tweet.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And in Twitch chat, yeah, you just got to scroll up a little. There were a bunch of questions.
Okay, I'll switch over to that now. We'll get some of these thoughts and questions. I see. So these are community submitted questions. So obviously this is a community event. If you have a question, I mean, just because we are a somewhat professional organization, that does not mean we're not still a pyramid scheme. You know, that is still the case. There
Yeah,
is
believe it now.
Yeah. There's just Team Fortress 2 that happens in the background of that. Right, let me actually. Okay, I cannot scroll up apparently. Thank you, Discord.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, it's really great.
I mean, it's pyramid scam that is not benefitable for us because we are wasted using money and losing it.
We'll get there someday.
Steve
Yeah,
has
true.
asked how many corn dogs Requiem can fit in his mouth, but Requiem isn't here, so can't actually. Okay, Steve has asked a
I already
question.
gave an answer to that.
Which Fortress Face-Offs member would win in a brutal fist fight? Who do you think out of us? If it was us 4, we'll go us 4 first, and then we'll go everyone. So out of us 4, who's gonna win in a brutal? Like, actually, let me. You know, it's clearly me here. I think.
I know Matt would do it because he would use a knife.
Okay, because I'm British.
It's you.
Yeah, I mean, I have the bison, but the bison's broken and on my on my sofa right now.
You can just bludgeon with a piece.
Bludgeon them with the bison instead. I think out of everyone here, I've seen Agra before. He doesn't scare me. I've not seen Kevin before. But Kevin's profile picture gives off, you know, sort
Very
of
weakling vibes.
weakling. I was actually not going to say weakling vibes, but I'm sure we'll go weakling vibes. And then I think the fight would be between me and Manus. I think me and Manus, You know, I'm eyeing you up right now.
That's right. We'll meet on next LAN on Insomnia.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to Insomnia, I'll probably will be going to Insomnia this year. So if you're there, I'll remember to throw hands with you.
Manus looks for most threatening.
I think obviously it would be Steve.
Yeah,
it would just be Steve. Steve would.
Oh,
win
yeah,
that
Steve.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve. Steve would just use his godlike fists to beat us into submission.
Big words.
believe
from
in-
Mr.
Just use
Stone.
that Steve.
I believe in Shippy though.
There's a common misconception that I am in fact small. I'm not. I'd like to set the record straight. I've had many people
Prove
say
it.
that I am 5'3". That is not true. I'm
Prove
in
it.
fact prove it. What do you want me to do? I mean, I have my
I don't
webcam on, but I don't have any really point of measurement here.
Where's your banana? Where's your ruler? Where's
Okay,
a banana per
I
scale?
have an I have an Android Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Okay, that is my phone. If
Okay.
I hold it up next to my head, someone can Google how like long this phone is, and you can make like you can figure out how many phone lengths I am, and you can go from there. But I guarantee you, it won't come back as 5'3". It'll come back as 6'7".
Totally.
Yeah, sure,
That's
sure,
actually
sure,
high
sure.
That's factual. That's just factual. You know, I don't
Okay.
make the rules. These are
We
just-
believe
I'm
you.
genuinely 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna believe
You
you.
know, if you really want to talk, if you want to talk smack, let it be known.
Right, let's find another community submitted question. When are the festive fisticuffs spots going to be published on YouTube? Never. Lost. Never. I'm
Yeah.
still sharing my screen.
I thought we burned those documents already, guys. What's going on?
I mean, if you
That's the
donate
one thing
enough
that they're trying
money,
to get
then
me to
maybe
the
we'll
tax
boss
for.
it.
Give us your money and we
Give us your entire salary, and maybe we'll consider.
That's not a serious question. I'm not asking you that. Okay, these are all questions. You know what? I'm going to go to the tweet because these seem to be all questions related to the server, not actually to this.
We can sort out server problems, I guess.
Yeah. Here we go. There's... If you like TF2 so much, why don't you marry TF2? You know, I think I'm going to stick to my
Complaint.
questions.
You might have a point. You might have a point.
Yeah, I think I do have a point.
I would marry TF2.
You
I
would
can
marry
do it.
TF2? I think I
Yes.
would... I don't think I could marry TF2. I feel like there's too many commitment issues going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, TF2 is kind of abusive sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a bit of a love-hate relationship, so... I don't know if I could
True.
marry TF2. But, you know.
Well, would Manus or Kevin do it?
Definitely.
Maybe.
Yes. Why am I
I
hearing
say yes.
music? Oh.
I mean, if TF2 proposes to me, then for sure, but
If TF2 proposed to you,
it
what would
didn't
you
happen
say?
yet.
You don't want to make the first commitment.
TF2 gets down on
Uh,
what knee? On one knee.
I'm too shy to propose.
Yeah.
I think for my next question, I'm gonna flip the questions. Oh,
Okay. So there was
Uh,
nothing in the chat?
nothing else that I have seen, unless I go
Ah.
back to Discord.
Hmm.
I could try and find one more, but they're all actually relating to the server more than they're relating to the stream.
I mean, I did see some Twitch chat questions, unless there was stupid.
Twitch chat questions. That's a good point. I mean, we'll take those as well.
I've seen a few. You just need to scroll up a little, you know.
I can scroll up.
Do you know how to scroll up?
No, I'm in fact incapable. Thoughts about the Overwatch devs wanting a TF2 collab? I don't think that's a real thing, though. Is that a real thing?
No.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Is it?
I can confirm. So there's an Overwatch 2 dev stream, and they have expressed interest into having a collab with TF2.
Oh, I did not know about that. I do not believe that Valve cares in any capacity.
Turns out that Overwatch devs care more.
I
than
could be wrong, but
TF2 devs.
I get a feeling that Valve does not, you know.
But it would be very funny if the Overwatch devs got TF2 to get something tangible in a while.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think if any game was likely to cross over with TF2, it would be Payday 2. The Payday 2 Twitter man, like, kind of got a bit of a thing for TF2, not gonna lie. Yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm gonna flip it. If you could ask, okay, this is a stupid idea. I was gonna say, why don't you come up with a question for me?
What color's my underwear?
Purple.
Okay, Matt, answer me this.
Yep, gone.
Riddle man coming.
So,
Riddle me this.
are you British?
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
The long answer.
Oh god, I was hoping you'd say the short answer. By country of birth, yes. By, like, origin of family, no. It depends how you define it. My family are, some Scottish, some are... My dad was actually born in Australia. He's British, but he has dual nationality. So,
Wait,
you know.
sniper demo man.
Yeah,
You're
my-
a demo man.
Yeah, so in my family, I have Sniper, Demo Man, wait, let's go through them one by one. Pyro,
What nationality is Pyro?
Unknown.
So you're
Psychopath.
unknown?
yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
unknown, yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah. I'm 30%, who knows. I was probably manufactured in a lab. That would not surprise me. Oh my lord. Ah!
We're getting correct.
Sorry, I got two fairly nice headshots right there. Okay, I'm gonna run away now. Why are you British? I couldn't tell you why. I could tell you that I am. That's about
Are
it.
you proud of it?
No. No. I mean,
Fair enough, I guess.
no, there's two answers to that as well. No. The funny answer is no, and the serious answer is I don't actually care. So, I wake up every day and I'm still British, so it's not like there's really much I can do about it, unfortunately.
Well, you can.
You make it sound like a curse.
You know, well, I've tried conversion therapy, I've tried drugs, some like medicinal, some recreational. It's just not really much has stuck, and I'm kind of a little, there's not much I can really do about it at this point. I'm kind of...
Yeah,
it's
at
how
the
life
end
is.
you just have to accept the reality.
Yeah.
Acceptance is the first stage of denial. That doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. That really is not anything that... makes- Acceptance is the first stage of something.
So,
Yeah.
do you have any more messages with question marks in the Twitch chat?
Any more messages with question marks? Otherwise known as questions.
I have
Yeah.
a question for Matt, though.
Yeah, go for
Oh,
So, who do you enjoy the most from Fortress Faceoffs?
it. Who do I enjoy the most?
Yeah.
Not who do I like, who do I enjoy specifically?
okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. There's some many answers to this one. Let me go on the Fortress Faceoffs Discord so I can remember who actually works for them. I'm gonna go through.
You're saying that it's not just instantly me?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm gonna go back and reference some
Oh,
others.
of course.
You know, just in case that there's anyone that is more scary than Kevin Supermarket that I might accidentally piss off. I have to say, if I had to give a shout out to anyone in the Discord, it would probably be, or in the Fortress Faceoffs team, sorry, it would probably be Mindsetemy, because I think my man...
He is scary as heck.
I would describe Mindset as scary, particularly, but
I would, like, he's pretty, like, silent and kind of
I wouldn't say he's silent
Emo-
either. I don't think you know Mindset in the
emotional-
same way I do.
emotionless.
Emotionless. Okay, there you go. Now you're starting to hit them.
Well, you know what? No, if you think he's silent, then he's silent about deadly.
Well, Mindset, obviously, he does all of he hosts the servers and also does a lot
NA.
of the NA servers and does a lot of the coding / sort of map creating for Fortress Faceoffs. So a lot of hard work, and obviously, if the Twitch channel, when the Twitch channel gets affiliated, a lot of the money that the revenue from that will go towards the server costs, because obviously he's just doing it out of pocket at the minute.
Yeah.
So, big shout
And
out to Mindset.
also, big shout out to Mindset also because of how amazing they are with maps. Like
Yeah.
Dunk of the Deck map was mostly made by him, and it was amazing. Like
Mm.
it was probably my favorite tournament, mostly because of the map, because it really added a lot to the gameplay, a lot to like entire feel of the event.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
we can feature the map in one of stream weekdays if you guys would like.
We could. I think that's a really good idea for any of the days where we play on the community servers with everyone. Is actually we play through some of the old game modes.
Yeah,
So,
we could relive Dunk of the Deck.
yeah, we could do Dunk Off the Deck. We could do the Bowman Brawl was personally one of my favorite
Yeah.
ones to.
It's great.
Yeah, that was a really really good one. So yeah, we could definitely do that with sort of a little nostalgia trip perhaps. Oh
And it will be great for people that didn't manage to join us earlier and
yeah, exactly.
didn't have opportunity to play our previous event. So
Yeah.
it will be really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. My lord. I've sort of been paying half attention to actually playing the game whilst we've been talking. And it's kind of only just sunk in that I'm actually playing.
Yeah, you're playing the game.
I am playing a video game right now, believe it or not. I'll go right back around here. I was trying to think, I had a very good question in mind, but it's actually slipped my mind because I have the attention span of. Actually, we don't give goldfish enough credit really, but I have the attention span of a really attention defective goldfish. So you know, I struggle to retain the knowledge up there sometimes. But we'll go for a bland, boring TF2 question while I try and get back to what my actual other one was. What would you say is objectively? I don't want opinions. Well, the opinions obviously factor into it. But what, in your opinion, objectively is the best TF2 game mode for its actual gameplay? What is the game mode? What did Valve get right when it came to a game mode? In your opinion, but objectively. Because I can tell you, for me, I only pretty much play Payload. Not necessarily because I think that it's the best game mode, but it's pretty much one of the only ones where I can sit down and find that it's actually balanced. Mostly. I'll tell you, playing on Pier right now is a very different experience to playing on Harvest.
Yeah.
God.
So
Okay, go ahead.
So I like King of the Hill.
Mhm.
It's a pretty simple and fun map, fun game mode, where all classes can easily get their time to shine.
Mm-hmm. Oh my lord. Sorry, I am slightly hitting shots. I'm just
On a
like
5-kill streak.
I am on the 5 kill streak right now. I'm now on the 6 kill streak. So you know, it's
You're cheating. Can we
very
vote no?
intense.
Rookie numbers.
Well, maybe.
7 kill streak. Oh, I'm in blue now.
Oh, look at that. I got auto-balanced.
Time to kill Matt.
No, don't do it. No.
He can listen. He can listen to me.
Targeted harassment.
Oh,
No.
why is this happening? Why now? Why on the Fortress Faceoff stream? Why can't I have this happen like whenever else I play TF2?
Everybody watching right now, this is actually what Fortress Faceoffs is about. Watching Matt get a kill streak.
Yeah, no more questions. I'm just gonna play TF2. You're gonna watch and you're going to enjoy it. I'm on a 9 kill streak. I swear to God, if it gets fucked over by like.
Well, so what Manos thinks about the game modes?
Okay, so I will talk from the perspective of like competitive story ahead, and as I'm mostly a Highlander player, so like it's 9v9 with each class of one. I enjoyed the most payloads, I believe, just because of the fact that you get to experience almost full potential of every class. It's like you have to, for example, as engineer, you have both. You need both skills as with like level 3s and managing them, with minis when you're pushing and being more aggro. Same with like medic, sniper, all the classes I actually played, and I kind of enjoyed it the most because there's like this kind of pace you dictate to other teams. So if you are, oh my god, give me a second, something really happened.
So
Oh,
good.
I got the item. So basically, there's this space that you dictate to other team, and there's like those moments when you build up and kind of have time to think about what you're going to do. Those moments when you are actually pushing and need to coordinate with your team. And in on COF maps, it's more of like constant DM, constant fight happening. While in payload, you really have to kind of set up proper position, uh, get different strategies to how to push it through, etc. So I guess this is for me.
Yeah. I remembered my question. It finally came back to me. So, if you were given, as much time, resource, even money potentially if you needed, and it was all down to you to make the next Fortress Faceoffs game mode event, you could do absolutely anything within possible limits. What would your ideal event be? What would you create as a unique experience for the community?
I already know.
God, please enlighten me.
So for me, it would be a bumper card from Halloween, but in like a full format. So like you just have two teams with bumper cards,
Right.
playing and trying to score against each other.
Yeah.
I just love it. I would love to see it as
Bumper card game mode.
Yeah, and then you could have like different maps or something. And
Yeah.
some different rule sets. So it can be really fun.
Kevin or Aggro?
Well, I would really like game mode where all pyros get sped up. They have Dragon's Fury, Gas Passer, and the Back Scratcher. We play in these small 4v4 maps. We run around fast, with Gas Passer on the point. They shoot the enemy pyros with Dragon's Fury, and they get lots of health from health packets. So
Did you think of it yourself?
I believe it's really fun because it really scratches that movement itch, and also get to play Dragon's Fury and you don't really play. People don't really play Dragon's Fury much, which can be a very fun weapon. So that's a really nice idea, and like it's also satisfying to get so much HP from the medkit. So yeah, it scratches a lot of itches, and it's king of the hill.
Yeah.
So,
Kevin?
So, given that I've got the ability to do pretty much anything, I think my ideal event would actually be to basically remodel all of Pastime, because I feel that is a game mode which has certainly lost its touch just because it wasn't built that well. Ideally, what I would want to do is probably just make like a full team of scouts or soldiers with a speed buff, and basically just have them play the regular Pastime game mode, and perhaps even introduce grappling hooks as a different movement mechanic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds interesting, actually. Well,
yeah.
I'd like to see Pastime get more recognition. To be fair, I don't play it personally, but
I would like to see all of these events.
I always joke that we should have a Righteous Bison tournament, but I don't know how. I think when I've joked about the fact that we've ended up doing tournaments that have lasted 8 hours, I think the Righteous Bison tournament would last the whole day.
Can we make it so that way it's Righteous Bison and Pomson?
Both, yeah. I mean, but then I think I don't know. Is the Pomson or the Bison better? I think probably the Pomson, right? So like most people would just choose Engineer.
I guess Pomson, after all the nerfs both weapons got, I think the Pomson will be.
Yeah. I think maybe the trade-off would be obviously the health difference, but that's pretty much it. Pomson 100%. Yeah, I think Pomson probably beats Bison. As much as I don't want it to, as much as I would really prefer the Bison here, I don't think it would.
I do still have my model Bison sitting around somewhere.
Oh, I've got mine right behind me, but it's broken. I mean, I'll grab it. It's broken in half.
Why did you break it?
It's
Yeah, Matt, why would you do such a thing?
It's kind
Matt,
of
why did you break it?
Yeah, like
Why?
This bit is supposed to kind of be in that bit, and
Yes, but why?
That's how it should.
Explain
It's
yourself.
not supposed to be into two segments, but I kind of consider it to be a detachable bison. You know, it's got a it's the sawn off. It's the sawn off bison.
New invention, sort of bison.
Yeah, the sawn off bison. Like increased range. No, increased spread. Even that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Yeah, on the bison projectile. So it's just a giant cone. Super glue fixes all. I should really. It was sticking together by itself, and then it broke again because I dropped it a second time. So it's just a giant L on my part, really.
Stop dropping it.
Yeah, that would pretty much work. You have to consider the fact that you've just said that to me, and so that doesn't actually mean anything. Because I will somehow manage to drop it again. But, you know. Okay, that's actually a really good question. So, you could take any weapon, either existing or, like, maybe one of the cut weapons, something that would be in Tier 2. You could add it and rework it to be sort of... You could say more balanced, but you could essentially do what you want to it. What would you change and why? What weapon would you change, and why would you change it? Oh, no. Big kicked. And any of you could start this. I mean, if none of you have an answer to this, I can literally just say the bison, revert it, please God. I mean, it's basically what's the point in using it? It's just a downgrade to everything. There is no upside to the bison except it's funny. The only thing I have to be proud of in my inventory is the... Where is it? Where's the funny one at? I've lost it. Where's my funny bison?
While you're looking
There
for
it
that, I
is.
will...
Yeah, go for it.
I would take the shortstop and I would make it the scattergun.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
love the shortstop because it's like a very stupid little gun. It makes a funny noise and you can push people with right click, which is like why. But honestly, I just want it to be stronger so that way it can be competitively viable and nobody will take it seriously.
I think that's fair enough, actually. I can kind of see it. I think the shove mechanic is like... it's only used on what? One weapon, right? The shortstop. It's not used on anything else.
And it's actually really interesting. Like, if you
Yeah, like that's a really cool mechanic that doesn't get used on anything else.
Yeah, I think we made it because it's a mid-range weapon. It's like longer range than Weber. And maybe we wanted the scout to like have a way to get into that optimal range. It doesn't make sense because there's damage ramp up and any weapon except sniper rifles are most effective the closer you are to the enemy.
Yeah.
Well, and Crusader's crossbow, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Crusader's crossbow.
Crusader's crossbow.
Yeah.
Why you?
Has to be
Oh.
reversed.
for me, I believe it would be Sandman.
Okay.
That's because of the fact that it was one of my favorite weapons when it came out.
Yeah.
When the cleaver came out. Like the combo Sandman plus cleaver was so fun to play with. It required skill because you had to first get someone with Sandman and then with cleaver. And it was just really rewarding weapon. Right now, it doesn't even stun. Like, it just slows down and it's kind of worthless. So this is probably one weapon I would definitely change, just even from pure nostalgia, that it used to be one of my favorite weapons and now I hate it.
Yeah. I didn't... Well, I think if we go way back to earlier when I sort of mentioned that I had played TF2... I stopped playing in 2017, in fact, just before Jungle Inferno came out. And I think it must have been Jungle Inferno either before then or after. It must have been around that time they changed it, because I don't actually ever remember it not stunning when I came back to the game, and I was like, I swear this didn't used to do this. One of the funnier ones was the panic attack. They completely changed the panic attack and the way it worked, and that was definitely Jungle Inferno, because I remember, in fact, it was... I never used that weapon, ever. But someone one time when I was streaming, because I have a redeem, which is like, choose any loadout, and someone was like, panic attack, and I was like, alright. And I went to shoot it, and I was like, hold on. This doesn't work like this. I swear you have to hold this down. Why is it like my panic attack's broken? And I didn't realize I'd never even seen the jetpack. Like it took about a month of playing until I saw a jetpack. I was like, what in the Christ is that? It was like I was living Jungle Inferno for the first time, like years after anyone else. It was kind of funny.
Do you know the story of Escape Plan and Equalizer?
Well, the fact it used to be one. It used to be one weapon.
This is probably the weapon that got nerfed the most because first of all, like I remember the times when it was one and it had no side effects. Like basically, you became faster and stronger just being quicker, and it was really OP.
Because low HP. Yeah.
Yeah. Then they split it, and then they started adding all the cons like getting the mark to death, etc.
I mean, the equalizer doesn't need the lower base damage. It just needs the healing debuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With already escape plan, it's much better. It's actually more effective to kill with escape plan because you're faster.
Yeah. Something that is definitely one of the coolest things that's been added into TF2 recently is the addition of V-scripts to maps. So I've played a couple times. Another streamer, Proctato. Big shout out to him, by the way. Very awesome guy. Runs a community server, and I was playing on one of his servers. And the amount of stuff that people were doing with VScript, and I'd never, bear in mind, seen like any of this before because it'd never really been in TF2. Someone had made like versus Saxon Hail, like the game mode, the source mod plugin, and baked it entirely into just a map. So all you have to do is just join a server running that map, or play the map through the workshop, or just download the map. I mean, if you want to play with friends, because it's versus Saxon Hail, then obviously you need a server, but the fact that you can do that in a map is, like, insane.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'd never seen. I played and I wish I could remember the name of this because I need to find it. If anyone actually knows the name of this, please tell me. But it's like it was a board game. So the payload cart was like a piece, and it moves up the like board. And in order to progress, you have to play through minigames. And again, something like that would have previously been like tons of source mod plugins and stuff like that, is now just one map that you don't have to have anything in order to run. Like, that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we also are utilizing VScript for our upcoming event.
Yeah, I was about to lead that on. I was going to say, with VScript now being a thing, I think, like, a lot of these events, Fortress Faceoffs, there is so much more potential for what, like, could happen in them. Which wouldn't...
Shout out to the contractor who implemented this to the game.
The one guy. Just the GitHub man. I don't even know, like, where he came from, but he exists.
United Kingdom.
He's
He's from the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna find this man. Find this man.
Don't stab.
I didn't say anything about stabbing.
It's a
Why
known
would I
fact that
stab him?
everybody-
Why would I do that? I love this man. Oops, daisy. But yeah, no.
It's a known fact that everybody in Britain has each other's IP address. It's in the phone book.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the most terrifying things, especially with like when I went to Insomnia festival last year, meeting up with so many other British TF2 players or English TF2 players, the likelihood that you live like within an hour's distance to them is scary. I found out, so two different ones actually. So one of my online friends, who I met for the first time at Insomnia, and sort of just, you know, chill out with online and whatnot, I found out at Insomnia, just through, like, conversation, that he actually lived 20 minutes from where my parents live. And I was like, that's insane, first of all. And so we've actually met up again when I've gone to see them. I've met up with him. And another one. Now this is a funny story. I don't know why this exists, but it does. So you're gonna get some intense Matt lore here as well along with this story. So the Righteous Bison. Okay, this is where this begins. The Righteous Bison. That's a weapon in TF2. Okay, I collect them. You know, I've got the collector's version, and if I open my inventory, I have an obscene amount of them somewhere. There we go. We just scroll through and then suddenly everything's a righteous bison. It's just, whatever. So there's a few subreddits, obviously r/tf2, and there's one called r/bison master race, which is dedicated to the righteous bison. I posted in both of those about the fact that I was collecting them. At the time, I had about 6,000 to 7,000 bisons split across about 3 accounts. And I posted it on Reddit just being like, this is funny, I'm doing this because it's funny. And then subsequently posted the fact that I bought like an IRL version of the bison. I think about a month after I made those posts. In fact, I could even pull it up on the stream, but about a month after I made those posts, I received a message on Reddit, and I don't use Reddit very often. So I just saw it one day. I was like, oh, I got a message. And it was a guy who I was able to later verify was the previous owner of the most bisons, who had just randomly happened to have seen my post. So he had like 10,000 bisons or whatever, and he messaged me and he was like, hey, I've just seen your post and I've seen that you're collecting bisons. I don't do it anymore, but I want to wish you good luck. That's really cool. Hope you beat my amount, which was 10,000 whatever. Yeah, best of luck. And so I was like, oh, thanks, that's really cool. So, me being me, I was like, right, I immediately need to stalk this man and find out, like, all of his stuff, you know, like, find his Steam account, see his bisons, you know. So through this website I found, which is called, like, Items TF or whatever, you can actually track who has the most amount of a singular item. And there he was. That was the same name that was on Reddit, was on there. And I found his main account. And on his profile, and I won't say the name of it, but his location was set to my exact town. Like, my parents live, so not where I live right now. And he lives, like, as if that's correct information to go off of, he lives, like, 10 to 20 minutes from me. Which is, like, absolutely. What are the chances that in Team Fortress 2, a random guy that used to collect the Righteous Bison, the weapon, in mass bulk quantity, happens to live probably within, like, a 10-minute drive from you?
I guess that region is just full of bison enjoyers.
I don't know what it is. They just know what's up. They know what's good.
Speaking about the bison, I never got to mention what weapon I would like to be changed.
Oh, yeah.
So I would like the bison to be fully reverted.
Yep.
Because it never was. It had a huge hitbox size, and you could make you could set arrows and you could set arrows aflame for bison.
Yes, that's right.
And it still really sucks because they reverted it, but not really, because the hitbox is still really small compared to what before was. And so you get much less penetrating damage than you would have with a huge hitbox. So that's a shame.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree, the bison should definitely be reverted. I mean, it's like, what's even the point in using the weapon anymore?
Yeah.
It's just kind of silly at this point.
This is the reason why I love Fortress Faceoffs, that we kind of try to bring to life metas and like items that are not working anymore or are not so popular.
Yep.
This is something I really love about Fortress Faceoffs.
Yeah. Sorry. I just had a really strangely funny interaction in game.
Okay.
I never play Spy, and there's a reason for it. I just spent like a minute whilst we were having that conversation, like stalking the sniper. I was like, right, I'm gonna get this man. There was no one about. I uncloaked. He didn't even hear me. I was like, this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. I go up, and just some other guy has arrived behind me with a pan, and he is ready to fight me. And he immediately killed me. I could never play Spy. It'll never happen. Never been good at it, never will be. I understand how people are. Honestly.
Yeah.
Bring back...
Delicious.
I honestly, okay, this is a giant, and please, I take this, this is a giant amount of cope on my part, but I swear to God, I am just unlucky. I am just so unlucky when I play TF2, because I watch like Spy, like people who actually play Spy stream or like YouTube videos or whatever, and I swear people just don't see them ever. It's like, I swear, they just have this like aura where they can just do that. And like, I try and do that. No, sorry, there is a sniper about 700 yards away that has just seen you decloak at the corner of his eye and you are now dead. And you are not gonna kill anyone. I don't know how people do it. Yeah, this is just cope. This is pure copium. But I swear I'm just so unlucky. Also, thank you so much for that, Requiem. I appreciate it. You got my name wrong on Twitch, though. I will just say that. I changed my handle. I am sorry.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
You know who else is good at dealing with spies?
My mom.
Alright. I was gonna say Steve. Get him in already.
Oh, Steve. Oh, Steve. Does Steve want in?
Yes, I told you this like an hour ago.
Oh, I thought you were just telling me to friend Steve. Okay, hold on.
Oh, he wants now,
Oh, I'm so sorry, Steve.
right?
I misunderstood Kevin's direction.
He wants me dead. What?
Shout out was given to Reminder. Join us in following Reminder.
Who is Reminder?
I don't. Oh, I think okay. MDL tried to announce Reminder to stay hydrated and accidentally shouted out a Twitch account called Reminder.
That's awesome.
Shout out Reminder. It's my favorite Fortress Faceoffs viewer, honestly. Also, hello, Mindset of Me. We were just talking about you. Well, we weren't. It was about 20 minutes ago, but we were talking about you previously. Oh, that's
Bring
Steve.
back Vesanem and Ubering, standing Uber players. That was very funny.
Steve, I think you should personally here, I think that you should appeal to Twitch to try and relinquish the Steve handle, like @Steve to you. I think you should be allowed Steve on Twitch. I don't think whoever currently has Steve deserves it as much as you do, honestly.
I agree.
Whoever has Steve on Twitch, like, they don't do anything for Fortress Faceoffs. Why do they get that handle? You know?
Yeah.
When you really think
Steve's-
about it.
Steve's and Matt's and Kevin's of a Fortress Faceoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to get the Probably Matt account, because apparently... Where is that spy? Because apparently someone else has that. The account does not appear to be active, and when I tried to appeal Twitch for it, they were like, nah, man. I was like, okay. I'm gonna go in for
Okay,
the
so I see Stabs Live was asking when is Banny joining.
When's Banny joining? Like, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got him scheduled for tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, he's our intern.
Our intern. Banny's like low-key working for Fortress Faceoffs. Ah, it's annoying me that I can't share my screen.
And I see that question about MDL. Yeah, so MDL is just on chat today and it will be on stream on Wednesday.
I believe, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then my chat cuts off, so if you, Matt, can see any more.
I can, hold on. Allow me
If you see any buried questions or statements that we can respond to.
I will. I'm having an intense fight with someone right now.
Yeah, Matt isn't even doing anything. He's just gaming.
Got double flare, like kill at the same time. Hold on.
What do we pay you for?
Yeah, Matt.
What did MDL say that you want me to read? I'm so dumb. I messed up doing an announcement. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Reminder to stay hydrated. Change the bison to be canonically British. Pastime more like piss time. No, I do not see anything that MDL would like read out. I am very much gaming right now. Flared Pyro. I am Pyro, and I am gaming, and I am not gonna live for much longer if this continues to like keep up.
Matt is such a gamer.
I am a very big gamer. Oh, I'm actually not a very big gamer. There's a very fun fact about me. It's a miracle at all. I even play TF2.
You are a small gamer.
I am a small gamer. I don't actually play many games. I remember someone was asking me this, and they were like, "So what else do you like? You know, what else do you like doing that's not TF2?" And I'm like, I don't really play many other games. I have a couple that I'll play like in my free time. Like sometimes I play GTA 5 because I used to play that a bit. Sometimes I'll play like some VR games. I really enjoyed Half-Life Alyx. I played that. I played VR chat and like some VR games, but I don't really play many games. And that's quite an interesting one, because I don't know why I play TF2. I don't know why I like it. I cannot tell you the reason. There are no other games like TF2 that I enjoy. I've never enjoyed Overwatch. I've never enjoyed really any other game like TF2. I don't know why I enjoy TF2. I just do.
You are broken, Matt.
I am, in fact, broken. I need a man who can fix me. Why did, I meant just a person, but, sure. My favorite song's playing? That's incredible. I can't hear anything, so...
So it's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate. Sorry. Can't get over the fact that I just said that. I didn't mean that. My brain's a little goofy. I did not get my 8 hours of sleep last night. I in fact got, what do they call it? 2 hours of sleep, so...
8 hours of sleep, or as I like to call it, 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. Yeah, I think I'll.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'll probably sleep better tonight, and my brain will be a little more functional for tomorrow, hopefully. I'm trying to think what I'm actually doing tomorrow. It's a big one tomorrow. We've got me and we've got Rob joining as well, which will be interesting.
Oh.
He's my housemate, so we'll be literally, basically, he'll be right above me when we do the interview, and then we'll also have Lilliput joining us, and probably one other who we'll see.
Special guest. Okay,
yes. Cool. Well, I feel like filling out with 3 people is better than 2. But,
Yeah.
Also, that I believe, if Requiem is saying it's my favorite song playing, that means it's oh, what's it called? Oh, I don't know.
How do you not know the name of your favorite song?
It's not my favorite song. I just know what it is that Requiem's referring to.
Gangnam Style.
It's that game. Goddamn.
That game.
It's track number 10 from that game.
Wow, that means a lot.
Yeah, it means a lot. 12 hours sleep, but it was 75 off, so it was just 4. That's how math works, and I love maths. That's so not true.
You love maths.
What 3 hours of sleep does to a main.lure. I mean, Nope. I'm not. That's it. I'll have to blaze Mighty Switch Force 2. Track 10, believe it or not. I could tell you a really horrible fact about why you need 8 hours of sleep, but I don't think anyone really wants to hear it.
Why?
I said that like begging someone to ask me why. It's to do with like why they recommend 8 hours of sleep. It's your brain goes through a process where it cleans, like it cleans itself, and I don't mean that metaphorically.
CP process? CP
process, yeah. It CP processes and it cleans itself. But I'm not going to talk about
it's still.
But it's very interesting. I mean, I don't want to wash my brain.
Does it use soap? Does it use a brush?
It uses cerebral fluid.
Whoa.
See, I'm like God's dumbest human until you ask me something that I know something about, slightly, to a point, and I'll tell you all about it. I'll nerd out on you. I will literally become the nerd emoji.
Actually. Okay.
Actually. I said I fled a scout from like nowhere, and I'm going to now set him back on fire, and he is now dead. But yeah, no, I mean, I had a really good question, and then I couldn't stop thinking about my brain being washed. I'm also too busy gaming. Having a great time here. Oh lord. Okay, there we go. Get back around the up. Again, this is my like. Okay, that may have been my fault for running around the corner, but who's the spy? Manus. I watched you there, and I was like,
Manus.
I was like, what are you doing? You're just waiting there for like.
It's Manus.
I thought he was AFK, and I didn't realize it was Manus. And then out of nowhere, he's like, nope, springs to life, kills like 3 people, and runs away. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not a body fluid expert, Heidecker. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But I've been caught off guard by body fluids. I can't stop thinking about them.
You're an expert.
I'm not an expert. I have no expertise in anything to do with the body. Do not trust me.
Where is the brain?
Somewhere in your body. Like, tell me I'm wrong about
Okay.
that. It is in your head, in fact.
It is true.
Mine isn't, though. I don't know.
Okay. You don't have one.
No. I should know this. I mean, I'm starting work in a hospital in like a week, so I feel like maybe it should be something that I know. Okay, but
That's a skill issue.
say you came into, well, you call it something different in America. Over here we call it A&E, but it's the ER, accident and emergency, or emergency response you call it. Say you were brought into the ER with any issue, and the first person you see is it's probably Matt, standing at your bedside. Do you trust him? You know.
Yes.
You would trust me?
Yes.
You have two options. Do you trust or do you seduce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like in those mobile games.
I think Heidecker raises a good point. Death instant. I think you may
Left.
be. Yeah. We are actually coming up to almost being done with our 2 hours for today. I have to ask though. Have you... Okay, this question goes... No, actually, I haven't eaten today. And I'm making food as soon as this is finished. And then I'm gonna, like, pass out watching TV. What should I make for dinner tonight?
Sandwich.
Toast sandwich.
Why sandwich?
Toast sandwich.
Okay, I actually have things in my fridge this time. So last time we did this... last time I was in a VC with you guys, and for some reason I showed you around my kitchen, and I had nothing in my home at all. It was so bare, and you were like, why do you have nothing in your fridge? And I was like, I am poor. I actually have things in my fridge now, so you can suggest a real meal if you want to, Agra.
Okay.
Sandwich.
So, just to inform you, Kevin's roommate has returned, and thus her gaming time concludes.
Oh, so no more Kevin.
No more Kevin.
No more Kevin. We've said goodbye to Kevin. But because Kevin isn't actually real, Kevin's picture shall remain on the stream. Because Kevin is in fact not an actual real like entity that we can.
So I would suggest that you make chicken curry if you have so many stuff in your fridge.
Okay, I have
Too much
chicken.
stuff.
I have
Curry.
rice. And curry. I do in fact not have curry paste or anything to make a curry sauce with though. That's the only problem here.
You can. Do you have anything like
I have sausages.
like yogurt or like what's the...
No, I usually do, but I do not right now.
Oh, right.
I have not eaten today, man. Semantic, sorry.
No sleep, no eat, only
No
gaming.
sleep, no eat. I am living the true gamer's experience right now.
Yes, Fortress Faceoffs experience.
This is what Fortress Faceoffs does to you. If you join the staff team, you will never eat again.
You never sleep.
That's-
We basically don't let our staff members eat and sleep because then they have more
Waste
time
time.
to actually work and they concentrate more.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
waste time when you're sleeping and eating.
Yeah, exactly. We just sit and we do. You know.
We ask our staff to leave their bodily functions alone and just focus their spirit
Hmm.
on Fortress Faceoffs.
My Christ. I am going to kill a demo man. I'm going to taunt, and I'm going to leave the game. In that order
Yeah.
specifically. Oh my god, he's so nearly ready. He got killed by someone else.
And
This
we
is
will-
unacceptable.
Most likely end when.
Yep, but you'll give me a minute. I gotta kill this anyone. Someone fall into death via my gun, please.
We
And
will
I got
move
killed by
to
someone
we
else.
will move to the stream and that slide, and there will be music
there we go.
playing.
I'll move to this one first. So, this was day 1 of Fortress Faceoffs Streamer Week. We had today Agra, Kevin, Manus all join us. The project leads, all but Requiem. All of the front end, the brains of Fortress Faceoffs. For some reason, my downloads folder just opened. There we go. So thank you guys for joining. Tomorrow, we will be back at the exact same time. We'll be back at the same time, in fact, every single day for the next week. Tomorrow, we should have Rob, JSH, a Lilliput, and potentially a special guest as well, who has to be determined. But yeah, so for now, that has been day 1. We will also be including... oh yeah, well, a bit late for that, Agra, sorry. I just saw your ping telling me to change the text, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever. it's been wrong this whole time. We will also be including some community game play on some of our servers, so if you would like to join for those, you will be more than welcome to. The information and server links will be provided on the day at the time. But just look out in the main server for that. I'm not sure if we'll do that tomorrow. We might do, we might not, but definitely at some point this week that will happen. So just keep an eye out. But yeah, aside from that, that is all from me tonight, or afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in.
Hopefully, Matt should sleep more for tomorrow.
Hopefully so, because I have started to lose my grip a little bit. But
We might let him sleep 3 hours this time.
they might
Yeah.
give me an
As a
extra.
reward.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, thank you so much.
He
and
deserves it.
I do. Thank you again, Agra and Kevin, who's not here, and Manus for joining.
Thank you a lot for hosting.
Indeed,
awesome.
it's been a pleasure. So we will see you again tomorrow at the same time, 7 p.m. BST, 6 p.m.
Bring your
GMT.
questions. Bring your questions.
Okay. See you tomorrow. Thank you again.